Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Joseph Mogel here again. Another video out there for you writers. For you writers out there. Alright, continuing with the self-publication thread that I've been going through. The next topic I have on my little list here has to do with something that has become a dominant force in literature today, and that is the ebook. Now, this can be a deciding factor for a lot of people. I've talked to some people for whom it was a deciding factor. People who are not as computer literate, or people who do not have the time to invest in developing certain computer skills, can sometimes find a challenge with this particular area, and that is just formatting your story to an ebook. Now, yes, it's relatively simple to produce a Word document. Even my computer illiterate father can produce a Word document, albeit with a great deal of hemming, hawing, and constantly saying, "What does this button do? What does this button do?" That being said, being able to format the exact specifications for different companies can sometimes get your head into a knot. This is part of the reason why I personally choose to use publishing houses, small publishing houses, because it's something I don't have to deal with. Completely frank, this is part of it for me. There is the money versus time aspect, which is I'm making less money, but I'm focusing my time on my writing more, which is what I'd rather be doing. There are some people for whom that's not the case, and you may be one of those people. In that instance, the most important thing for you to do would be to learn what the formatting properties are that you need. What formatting techniques should you have at your disposal? And different ebook publication sources, outlets, have different requirements for formatting. They're not going to be massively different, like we want this completely encrypted into a numerical code that we will give you on our website. Now, they're not going to do something like that. But you need to be familiar with the process. A lot of these places have a document that you could, a place to attach documents. But the actual process of going through, attaching a document, filling out the various online forms that you need, these all take extra time. And because each format has little differences, little nuances in how they present, a lot of this actually comes down to patenting. Different ebook publication outlets have different programs that they use, and they own the rights to those programs. So Amazon does not use the exact same ebook codes, ebook programming that Barnes & Noble or I'm blanking on a couple of the others at the moment. They don't use the same codes. Each outlet for ebook publication has the rights to a different set of publishing codes, computer codes. So it's not always going to be the same. It's going to be very similar, but it's not going to be the same, and you have to learn those nuances. Plus, there are deals that are generally in place with these things. You make a certain amount of money per story sold. You don't make all of the money. You have to maintain your website or your documents you have for sale. There's effort that goes into this. Effort that not all writers want to put in. I would rather spend my time writing a story than working with Amazon or Barnes & Noble in order to maintain my ebooks. That's just me. Now, there are plenty of resources online. A quick Google search and you'll get 100 different outlets. And a quick search on YouTube and you'll find 100 different people who can tell you exactly what you need to know in order to get your story formatted properly for each and every single one of the different ebook outlets that are there. They're on the internet right now. So, if this is one of those areas, again, money versus time, this is one of those areas where you have to decide for yourself. You have to ask yourself, is this something I want to do? Is this something I don't want to do? Because the big publishing houses have, for the most part, fallen, all these little questions are now popping up out of nowhere. 30 years ago, there were no ebooks. 30 years ago, there were a handful of major publishing houses and a few small ones scattered throughout the country. 30 years ago, if you wanted to publish a book and you didn't want to go through a publishing house, you had to just have everything set up for a printing company to actually physically print out the books. Nowadays, you could take a flash drive to Staples and print out a dozen copies. It'll cost you a lot more at Staples than it would to go through a print-on-demand company. But that's beside the point. The point is that these options are springing up because there are more opportunities now. Those opportunities are being spread amongst a much larger group of people. So your chances of winning big are smaller, but the amount that you can win by, given the popularity of some novels, the fact that some novels, I mean, the last 20 years, look at something like Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling had nothing when she wrote the first book of Harry Potter, and now she's one of the wealthiest women on the planet. The opportunities are there. There's a much wider field, and you have to figure out your exact course through it. And that's my point in this. There are a lot more opportunities, which means there's a lot more questions. There's a lot more points where you have to stop and say, do we want to do this? Or do we want to do that? And this is just another one of them. There are a lot of factors that go into making each decision. And whether you want to spend your time working on the file that your story is in for submission's sake or not, it's up to you. All right, I've rambled enough on this particular subject. If you have any questions, email me. Like and subscribe. I will get this right eventually. Like and subscribe below. Any questions, email me. My website is in the description bar below. You can access my email address through my YouTube page. If you have any questions for me, I will answer them in a video like this. All right. Thanks and cheers.